Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we're going to tell you about an organization you may never have heard of, the Hampton Education Foundation. My guests represent the school system, Ann Bane, and the foundation, Arial Jones. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me what this is. I think a lot of people don't know what it is you do.
So the Hampton Education Foundation has been around for a while, and a lot of school systems have education foundations, and really our purpose is to help increase innovative learning in the school systems. So we really have a two-pronged approach. We help teachers fund grants that they may have, ideas in their head of cool learning initiatives that they want to see implemented in their classroom. We help to make that a reality through grant funding, and then we also provide scholarships for students. So really helping them in post-education take that to the next level and help make college a reality for folks in our district. And so we really just want to help Hampton school systems be even greater than they are, and we just do that through helping provide some funding in areas needed.
So that sounds interesting. And how did it start? I mean, who got this ball rolling?
Well, as I understand it, the foundation began in 2001. Dr. Alan Davis was superintendent at that time,
Okay.
and he, had great love for technology and wanted to ensure that we were able to really get out ahead of others with regard to the use of technology in our school division. So the foundation was created to develop revenue streams outside of the normal revenue streams to purchase and implement the use of technology. And as it evolved, and as technology became the norm in Virginia schools and the use of it, the mission evolved towards support of students and teachers and innovative learning. And the grants program began in 2005. So they've been around since 2001, and a lot of the members, the original members, are still board members, a really dedicated group of people.
That really does show a commitment.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because these are, non-tax dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not sort of mainstream money that gets used for what the mandate is, what the standards are, what we know. This provides new things, new ideas, new materials that may someday, like technology, become mainstream, but that need to be tried out and tested and developed first. Is that a fair statement?
Very true. And I think that from things I've never met Mr. Davis, Dr. Davis. And so in hearing stories from board members who knew him and were around when this all started, that was really his heart, was to see how can we take innovation and implement it in a small scale way with one classroom, one teacher, and then see how that changes that environment and now roll that up to the whole district, and then maybe even seeing that happen on national levels in different ways. And so I think we have a really good opportunity to use some of the imaginative learning environments that the teachers are kind of cultivating on their own and help make that a reality small scale, and then see that just blow up and impact the way that we learn here in Hampton.
That sounds pretty exciting.
It's really cool.
Do you know of any examples of how teachers have used some of these grants?
So I do have some examples. So Kecoughtan High School, their librarian wrote a grant proposal when taking students from the concept of I have this art idea and seeing it play out. So they did everything from the conception of the idea to the drawing of the sketches to figuring out how to take this drawing and then scale it to work on the windows in the library. And so they did that whole process. We helped fund some of the things that they needed for that, and painted murals, beautiful murals all across the library windows. We've also had, at Davis Middle School, there was a group of young girls, I think it's the Davis Mentoring Group. And so it's a STEM initiative that they had. They made slime, so fun for kids. It's like all the rave right now. But learning how to take the science skills that they're learning in the classroom and use that in a fun way. And they partnered with an engineering group out of Hampton University. So ways that we're getting the community involved, that businesses are able to get involved, and also making an impact on the learning that these students are having in the classroom.
That is so great. Now, how do you get the money for this? Let's talk about the hard stuff.
Yeah, so our funding, we're unique in that way that we're not using tax dollars. We get funding from grant pass-through, so individuals may have some funds that they want to use for educational purposes, and we help steward those funds for them. United Way, we're a recipient of United Way donations.
Good.
So if you have are part of an employer that participates in United Way, we receive those funds. You also can submit funds via tax dollars when you're getting an income tax return. And then just businesses supporting and local just individuals who have a heart for education. I think all of us, if we don't have young students who are currently in school, we came out of a school system. I think we all can remember a teacher who had an impact in us. For me, it was my 5th grade teacher, Miss Carr. She really just made learning real and fun, and I didn't feel like I was in school when I was in her classroom. And so when we remember stories like that, I think it's easy for us to want to see that for the next generation and see that impact. And so giving helps to fund those dreams.
That is really a great story. So individuals out there who are listening to this going, what a cool thing. What can we do right now? We can write you a check, right?
You can write us a check right now. You can go to hamptoneducationfoundation.org, find out information. We're also participating in the Peninsula Community Foundation's Give Local.
Oh, great.
So that's happening on May 8th, and that is just a 24-hour giving day that they've set up. They've been doing it for a couple of years now. This is our 2nd year participating. So on May 8th.
I love it because I think what that does is, you have your United Way and the people who are employed usually, that comes out of your paycheck, and it's one way that makes it easy to give. But Give Local 757 reaches maybe a different audience.
Definitely
people
does.
who don't write checks.
Yes. People like me who don't have a checkbook.
You don't?
I
Oh
don't
my
have
gosh.
a checkbook. I'm sorry, I mentioned that the other day and I got some crazy looks, but I don't have a checkbook. We do it all online now.
So, and tell us a little bit more then for people who aren't familiar, even though we talk
Yeah.
about Give Local every year.
So Give Local, and you can do a check with Give
can.
Local. You can mail a check into the Peninsula Community Foundation. We will take it. You just put our name on it. But it is mostly an online social media type of program, and it's a 24-hour day on May 8th. You can go to the Peninsula Community Foundation's website, or you can go to givelocal757.com/HEF, which is us. And so just during that 24-hour period, money is corralled through the local foundation and then dispersed to where you earmark it for. But you can give with as little as $10, and $10 makes a big impact for us. And share it and post it and tell your friends that you're doing it, and that social aspect really just helps get the word out about what Hampton Education Foundation is and the good work that we do.
And I think that works too for, our younger, more recent graduates, because they can't give a lot of money, but it's like, a lot of the online giving now. You give a small amount, but you talk about it, and then it grows grassroots because a lot of people who could maybe give a small amount, and suddenly you have a substantial sum that makes a big difference.
Exactly. And it helps you to give an impact with a small amount, but then, there's volunteer opportunities that we have. So there's other ways that you can really get involved, and this might just be your door that opens up for you to step in.
And from the school perspective, the traditional administration, how do you see the foundation being a necessary part, being an extra? I mean, how do you all think of it?
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. And I'm a member of the Ed Foundation Board representing the school division, as is the superintendent and our director of PR and marketing, and some of our administrators as well. So we're very connected to it. For a long period of time, I was the staff liaison for the Ed Foundation, so doing some of that, back of the house kind of work for them. And so I'm delighted that the Ed Foundation has grown enough to take this next step and kind of take it to the next level and have an executive director. It's thrilling. I want to say, I think Ariel probably made Ms. Carr's day and the day of Ms. Carr's family as well by giving her a shout out for being such a great teacher. Early on with the grants program, the board members suggested that they know teachers reach into their pockets and buy supplies for their classrooms and things that their kids need because they're all about the kids. So the grants, there's an innovative grant, which is a larger grant to do those really cool things that there's not funding to do. But there's also a smaller supply grant, so that the Ed Foundation can take care of our teachers and help them to access the things that they need to be successful in their classrooms. So, we think it's a wonderful thing, and we're absolutely appreciative beyond your wildest imagination of the things they do for us.
I would think especially, and I don't know how much your budget has grown, but during these, it's like 10 years now of recessions and cuts, and a stagnant budget is a good year, it seems like these days. And, you know, cuts on the state level that have really affected the local school system, that what you all provide is a little bit of a life raft to teachers and to students who are finding it harder and harder to make it to college, or they get in and then they struggle with the financing and things like that. It's really important.
It really is. And I think, you know, we're always going to have those challenges. The school system's always going to have budget concerns, and, you know, money might get funded in a way that, you know, everyone's going to have their opinion. And I think that our purpose and our existence helps to supplement those things, helps to if you're passionate about some type of learning initiative and you have a business and you want to see students learning more about things that are important to your business, we have an opportunity to help you do that and partner with a teacher to see that grant come to life and then see those students be impacted by that. And that, with the academies of learning and all the fun things that are going on in our school system, we really just have the opportunity to help make learning fun for the students who are in Hampton City schools. And I get excited about that. I have young kids who are entering into school, and I want them to have fun in school, and this just helps make it a reality.
Well, and it's also, you know, it's a little less red tape. It's it's more on the local level. I mean, for teachers to try something innovative and new and to have all that enthusiasm, you don't want them to not be able to do it. And you guys have that sort of very close to the program, quick turnaround. You know people, you know some of the ideas. People in the schools can encourage folks to apply. It's a way of rewarding.
It really is.
Not just the teachers, but then the students who have those teachers and have those programs.
Yeah. There was a program, and I don't remember the school off the top of my head, but there was a program where a teacher wrote a grant. She had students who have English as a second language. And so one of those challenges is, you know, if your first language is Spanish and you have an English-speaking teacher, you might miss some cues in the instruction. And so Google makes some earbuds that you can place in your ear and in real time translate what you're hearing to your native language. It's crazy, right? And so something that small that can be really hard for a teacher to afford, you know, a teacher is not going to come out of pocket for that, but makes a big impact in how that student is just learning. We were able to help fund a grant for that to get these students those earbuds. And
then it's a permanent thing that is in that classroom. And I know there are some Hampton schools, I think Langley Elementary in particular, where there are just dozens and dozens of languages being spoken. And to try to, you know, get those kids up to their grade level is a real challenge. Something like that's really irreplaceable.
Yeah. Irreplaceable. And it just makes learning real and helps them not fall through the cracks of the learning that everyone else is experiencing.
Wonderful. And Ann, you had worked with the Mike Canty Scholarship Program for a while. People listening might want to know if they have a high school student, how this works or how they could apply, or, you know, what happens.
Sure, and I'll take the lead, but then Ariel is so confident to share that as well. So for those of us who've been in Hampton for a while, you know, it's hard to find someone who didn't know and love Mike Canty. And so the scholarship was started in his memory and to honor him and to keep that memory alive. And we really recognize young people who Mike really loved, the kid who maybe had a challenge and just overcame it in a great way, had a story to tell. And so that's what the foundation's really looking for in that regard. We have met some of the most amazing young people and given them the opportunity, or assisted them with the opportunity, to pursue their dreams, and it's quite wonderful. Ariel, do you want to share about the process, the application?
Yeah, so we do have an application process, and all that information will be posted on our Facebook page and then also on our website at the Hampton Education Foundation.org. And it's just submitting an essay, typical for most scholarships, but just with some information about a time where you've overcome a challenge and how you overcame that. So all that information is on our website.
Okay.
They require 2 letters, I think, of recommendation. The committee does, and there is a committee as with the grants, there's a committee that reviews all of those, uses a rubric, you know, has a system for identifying the recipient. And as I said, we have really met some remarkable young people.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I hope you are inspired by what this organization does and will go to hamptoneducationfoundation.org or 757-GIVE and think about donating to help them help our students and our teachers. Thanks for watching.